everybody, this is Jen from Cookies, Cupcakes, and Cardio.com. Today I'm going to be taking everybody's favorite candy bar, Snickers, and turning it into an amazing decadent cake. It's got gooey caramel, chunks of actual Snickers bar in the cake on top, peanuts, caramel. It's so delicious. Let's get started. So we're going to be using an 8-inch round chocolate cake, and I also have an 8-inch round vanilla cake. Both of these recipes are in the description box for you. They're favorites that I've made already. Now we're going to be using caramel sauce as well. You could use your own homemade version, or you can use store-bought. For our other toppings here, I've got some delicious honey roasted peanuts and they're whole here, and then I've also chopped some up for a little bit of a different texture on top. We also are going to need some regular vanilla buttercream, and for extra drizzle we're going to be using ganaches. So I have a white ganache and I have a regular milk chocolate ganache. They're both delicious, and the recipes for the ganaches and the buttercream will be in the description box. Now, of course, to make a Snickers cake you need Snickers candy bars. So I'm going to be using a combination of like the big ones and little ones, but you can get away with using one or the other. You can totally make whichever size you can find work for you. So to start out, we're going to start with our vanilla cake. So I've leveled it off with a sharp serrated knife. I'm just going to remove the top there. That's the leveling part. And then I also went ahead and made another cut to make it into 2 thin layers. So I'm just going to put that second layer aside for a moment. With my buttercream in a piping bag, I'm just going to make what's kind of called like a dam, because we want to stop the caramel that I'm going to put in the center from flowing out the sides of the cake. And so I'm just going to take some of my caramel filling here and just pour it in. It's totally up to you with like how much you want to put in or how little. That's totally up to taste here. And I'm just going to use my spatula here to spread that around. On top of my caramel layer, I'm going to place one of my halved chocolate layers. So I did the same thing and I sliced the chocolate cake layer in half to give 2 thinner ones. Now I'm going to put on the top a little bit of the buttercream, because I want some of the Snickers bars, which are coming on next, to kind of have something to stick to a little bit. You don't have to put the buttercream on, like the Snickers will stick right to your cake, but it just kind of gives it a little bit more glue. So we're going to do that part. And then we're just going to kind of line them up as best as you can to fit them on here. And you can put spaces, you can put them really tight, close together. Now in this kind of a gap, I might want to use a couple of my smaller ones. I could even just trim one of these longer ones. But you don't want to have the gaps or the ends of the Snickers bars hanging off the end. It just kind of it's going to give it a bump when you try to go around the outside with the icing. So once I've got that all filled in, I'll do more, but I'll show you this part too. And I just want to kind of add some icing in between here, which is going to glue those guys together. So I'm going to fill up, cut some Snickers to put in those gaps, and then I'll show you the next stacking step. I have my Snickers fitted in here now and filled with some buttercream. Now I'm going to take my second vanilla layer and I'm going to repeat what I did on the bottom layer, which is putting the dam around the outside here. Now if you're worried about the caramel escaping, you can do 2 layers around if you want to, but really if caramel like escapes out the side, are we going to have too much upsetting over that? Upsetment's not a word. Thought I'd teach you guys something new today. And so I'm just putting some more caramel in there and spreading that around. My final layer is our second chocolate cake layer. Just putting that on top of that delicious caramel. And then very gently, because at this point it's pretty fragile, you don't want to move it too much, and you want to put the final touch of buttercream all over the whole thing. I'm going to put it on the top, I'm going to put it on the sides, and if you're like a little bit worried about it kind of knocking itself over, which it is possible, you might want to put it into the freezer very briefly, probably for like 20 minutes, half an hour, just so it settles that caramel and it makes the layers stick together. And you can also see on the top here, I'm getting, picking up the crumbs, and this initial layer is called the crumb coat. So if you're getting crumbs out of your cake layer here like this, then just pop this into the freezer once you've got it all covered, and then you can cover it a second time and your crumbs will all disappear in that second coating. So I'm going to do that, and when I've got my cake all covered and beautifully white, I will be back to show you how we're going to decorate it. I've got my cake covered in my buttercream, so now I'm going to take all the fun stuff and get it onto the cake. So I've got some of my caramel here, and I'm just going to kind of squeeze it down over the sides. Now I'm going to decorate this little part front here that you guys can see at home, and then I'm going to go, of course, over the back and finish that off as well. So you can get some more going down if you want to. It's totally up to you what you want this finishing step to look like. So after my caramel, I'm going to get some chocolate running down there. Oh, this guy wants to run. That's awesome. Coming down the sides there like this. And you can come farther into the center too if you want to, like up into this area, if you please. So we've got that dripping down the sides and some of the white chocolate ganache. We can have that going down as well. And again, it's up to you. You can do, I just like how this gives a variety of colors to the side here, because it's kind of like rather a bland palette of the dark and the caramel and, you know, the white. So it just kind of gives a little dimension. So here I've got some of the full size or the little mini ones. And then I've also cut some of these chopped ones up. I really like how the chopped ones show off like the inside of the Snickers better. And then I'm going to add some of these crushed peanuts around the side. So that's going to be my theme around the whole side here, or like right where the ganache and the caramel is meeting, kind of where I'm going to stack all these big things. So I've got some more here so you guys can get a better look. So I'm going to stack those up there. You can even put some like up double high if you so choose. And then I'm also going to throw on the top some of these full peanuts like this. So I'm going to finish off this decadent cake, and I'll be back to show you the finished product, and I will make sure I cut into one. So there you go, everybody. I have taken the Snickers bar and I have gone over the top and I have created this Snickers candy bar cake. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. It's covered in the peanuts I was telling you about, and I even put like a little peanut border around the down at the bottom. I just thought that was a nice little touch. If Snickers isn't your favorite chocolate bar or candy bar, let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll make your favorite candy bar into a cake next time. See you guys soon.